Vinny Tortorich here. Hey man, if you're a fan of Izzy, you might be a fan of me too. I'm the guy that gets people to lose a lot of weight. I have something free for you guys. This is no clickbait. Just go to vinnytortorich.com and there's a big banner. It's a free PDF, how to lose weight. It's an intro guide to NSNG at vinnytortorich.com. Go check it out exclusively for anyone who listens to Izzy Presley. Thank you.
RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com.
Hey ladies, Sass Pants Designs will take that rock shirt that everyone has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind tank tops, lace-up tees, and tube top dresses already in stock. Check out the online store at sasspantsdesigns.com and like Sass Pants Designs on Facebook for special offers and custom orders. That's sasspantsdesigns.com, sasspantsdesigns.com. Sass Pants will make you the envy of the party.
Replay Guitar Exchange is your premier independent guitar store. Being independent is good. With all of the major brands, including new, vintage, and pre-owned, you can find the guitar, bass, amp, or accessory you are dreaming of. From vintage to the newest models, Replay Guitar Exchange can help you find that perfect piece. They have industry veteran expert staff, all players like you down to the owner. You aren't just getting a great guitar, you're getting the Replay difference. Find them online at replayguitar.com and find your dream guitar today.
My liver's all twisted up. But you know what I did? I loaded up with alcohol, more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
You have any saloons down there?
Well, that I don't know.
Has that bum ever smoked a cigar?
I doubt it.
How many cases of beer a day does he drink?
I wouldn't even venture.
Does he do the polka?
Why do you want that beer so bad?
Because he's thirsty, dummy.
Oh, wait. You take it to me.
No, you.
No. You take it. I'm letting go. I'm letting go of the beer. You taking it?
No.
I'm letting go.
I'm letting go.
Okay, then let it go.
Okay, fine. Dad, Bob broke your beer.
No, I didn't. Doug broke it.
So I'm gonna start getting ready for it. I'm gonna start eating 6 pounds of Polish sausage today, increase my beer from a case to a case and a half, and I'm gonna eat a lot of mashed potatoes and gravy.
Hey, who wants to play Drink the Beer?
Right here.
You win.
All right, what do I win?
Another beer.
Bonnie, don't steal any beer while I'm gone.
What kind of pathetic drunk do you take me for? Somebody spilled beer in this ashtray. Come on, let's go drink till we can't feel feelings anymore.
Honestly,
it's called To Hell With My Liver.
Somebody give me a
Hollywood, hello world, hello my loyal minions. It is good to see you, and it's always good to be seen. Welcome back to another fucking podcast, Tuesday night, live from Hotel California. Got another Drunken Summit for you. Going to be talking Warrant tonight. Got a great lineup of folks and Chad, and kidding, of course, Chad, you know I love you. Make sure you guys do hit up all that social media at Real Izzy Presley all the way across the board, Twitter, Instagram, and the Facebook. And of course, the show pages and other effing podcasts. You can go on there. You can buy t-shirts. You can donate to the show if you like what we do. It's really, really easy. izzypresley at yahoo.com is your PayPal. Also, Real Izzy Presley on Venmo. I also accept carrier pigeon, smoke signal, and large bundles of cash. So if you want to do that, that's always glorious. Make sure you guys also get up on the YouTube channel and subscribe to that, because you will be able to watch this afterwards. I'll probably have it up hopefully by tomorrow. I finally got last week's up yesterday, right on top of that shit. But without further ado, this week we are talking one of the most, I would say, underrated bands, not just of the 80s, just in general. Jani was one of the most underrated fucking songwriters and singers. I think there was a horrible stigma. We're going to get into all of that. And joining us, we have from Faster Pussycat and Motochrist and a tribute to Ace Frehley, who we just did an amazing show on Friday night, which you'll be able to watch on Facebook again on Thursday at 6 p.m. Chad Stewart, welcome. Welcome back. It's been a while.
I know. How are you guys doing?
Fucking great. From Trixter and Kuarentine, and he's got another record coming out, which he's going to remind us of. PJ Farley. Cheers. And from Metal Edge Magazine, the great Paul Gargano, sporting that great Ringo Starr caveman look.
I just actually shaved for this, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
This is like, my wife's going to be happy. So
cheers, everybody. Welcome.
And in honor of the Warrant discussion, we have to say happy birthday to Joey Allen today.
That's right.
Oh, happy birthday,
Joey Allen's birthday.
I know that. Cheers.
I was planning on being good with just a Truly, but now I'm doing Crown.
Yeah, sorry, Paul.
Sorry about that.
You've been around us before, right?
Yeah, I should have known better.
You didn't join him.
It started as going to be all innocent with a nice little Truly. And then I was like, wait, I have Warrant red wine. I could drink Warrant red wine.
Oh.
And then you guys showed the Crown off.
Yeah, well.
I'm just going to go for the trinity of drinking. And of course,
so,
my
hold on
now.
So, Izzy, before we get into the Warrant stuff,
yeah, man.
I see we all have Kiss stuff in our little
proverbial
rooms here.
You want me to? Would you like me to do this as Gene Simmons?
No, I would not.
Why not?
Why can't I do it as Gene Simmons?
All right. Oh, he's getting his boots on. Hold on.
Yep, I saw.
I have those as well. God, those things. If you can find those on eBay, they're fucking expensive.
I've got them too.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, I got a text from your boy Steve Brown today, PJ.
Oh yeah.
Who told me that I had to ask you about the Gene Simmons story in Tulsa.
The Gene Simmons story about Tulsa.
About Tulsa. Okay.
All right.
I need to pour another drink.
Maybe.
Well, there's a fuck it, I'll tell. It's not that bad. So on the Kiss tour, whenever you know how sometimes road crew members meet young ladies that are eager to get backstage and kind of, ruffle their, feathers to get back there and shake their fannies. And road crew guys are like, all right, well, I happen to have a couple of extra backstage passes. So in the Kiss tour, it was kind of a code word that the techs would get passes, or really anybody would, but techs would get passes that said Tulsa written on it in Sharpie. And those passes with Tulsa would get handed out to the girls who kind of worked their way backstage. And so Tulsa backwards spells what?
Slut. I just had to get rid of that there. Leave it to the writer guy.
I didn't come up with it. Okay. So we're playing one night, and Gene's on my side of the stage, and he's got a chick with him. And, he's making faces at me, and I'm playing, my groove, and, and he's like, he's got this girl, and he's like, making out with this girl, right? And I see T-Bird, Paul's tech, on the other side of the stage, tuning Paul's guitar. He's going, he's waving him like landing planes. He's going, and I'm playing. I'm going, what? And I'm looking at Gene, and he's like tonguing this chick, and giving me the eyes, putting on a show, really, just having fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And T-Bird's going, no. And Gene's like, hey. I had no clue or care about it. Meanwhile, she worked her way through a tech to get back there, and Gene, stumbled upon her, lone gypsy, and decided to bring her up on my side of the stage for some hijinks. And turns out the joke is on him.
He had
those Tulsa passes.
Yeah, and mouthwash apparently.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something about an Adam's apple. Now
no. Come on, Iz, get with it.
No,
hey,
that's the city of Tulsa.
Wow.
And I can't go back to Oklahoma.
Yeah, oh well.
Right. That's why Renoff's not here tonight. Yeah, let's fucking talk about Warrant. Let's get your guys' the first experiences, the first thoughts when you heard them, saw them.
I saw him. I mean, obviously, first when Down Boys came out, and I thought automatically it was such a great song, and
Right.
you know, they had the choreographed moves and the outfits and everything, and it was just it really some people thought that was goofy, but I just thought that was like a bunch of guys that were all in, and together, all on the same
all on the same page.
All on the same level, passion-wise, and just fucking, go team. And that was before I knew them or anything like that. And it was,
right.
So I mean, I just thought every song I heard from them, I was like, this is cool. I mean, people sometimes in that era, people had different opinions about them, but I was always like,
right.
I think this band's great. And then obviously once we got to tour with them and know them was their personally, my relationships with them clicked just so easily, and matched up with how I felt about their music. It was just it's just an all around good vibe with the Down Boys. And I'm honored to say that I have been actually officially sworn in as an official Down Boy by Jani years ago. We were on tour, and I just always rode their bus. I'm like, where are we going? Let's go somewhere. And then, later. And then I guess it was another night I was on their bus, and Jani's just like, you know what? Fucking PJ, that's it. He's officially he's a Down Boy. PJ, you're fucking rocking. So they swore me in as a Down Boy, and I was like, all right. And then I think I threw up in their bus.
You
in the garbage.
As long as you didn't drop a deuce, you're good.
There's a story about that, which I can get into later. Let's get the show off the ground first.
All right, Chad.
First time I saw Warrant was actually going back to Kiss on the Paul Stanley solo tour with Bob Kulick and Eric Singer. They opened, and two of the guys are from Ohio, where I grew up.
Right.
And so they had all the family there, and it was a pretty epic show. I was blown away the first time, and I think the record had been out I haven't seen the video yet. I think the record had been out like 2 days or something crazy, and they were unbelievable live. Jani just had such a presence. What a great singer. What a great front man. I mean, he was the whole package. And then, after that, because two of the guys were from Ohio, pretty much every year that they were together, they would come back, or at least up until like 2000, no, not quite that far. Like 95, 96, they would come back and do the Alrosa Villa in Columbus the night before Thanksgiving. They do a huge Warrant party. So pretty much every lineup that Jani ever had came through there on that night. So I've seen God knows how many shows, but it was really, they were magical when they were on, man.
Paul, you were the catalyst of this one. You handpicked.
Yeah,
this
you
one.
were.
I handpicked it, right? They're kind of like not one of, they're like the signpost band for me, like just career-wise and life-wise. They were the first interview I ever did for Metal Edge. I put them on the cover of my first issue as editor of Metal Edge. I mean, it was just throughout my career, they were always there. Now, ironically, the first time I saw them live, they played my high school. I went to a prep school on a college campus, Fairfield University in Connecticut, and it's very, very preppy and, rural Connecticut, suburban Connecticut. And Eddie Money was coming to Fairfield U, and Warrant were the opener. And
I saw that tour too.
What?
I saw that show too.
Yeah. So I think this was a little bit after your tour. I think this was right after Paul Stanley.
I think it was like the next one they did.
It was the next, yeah. It was long after the record came out. And there were like 5 of us in our whole school that listened to metal. I mean, it was just, there weren't a lot of us at all. And we were in the parking lot, in our school parking lot, before the show, a couple hours before the show, because none of us went home after school, that were going to the show. And had Warrant on in the car. We were sitting like drinking. We had our 6-pack in high school, our 6-pack hidden in the trunk of the car. And for the life of me, I can't remember which two guys it was. I know it wasn't Jani. I want to say it was Jerry and Steven, but I'm not positive. I honestly don't remember. Two of the guys just came walking up to us in the parking lot. We're the only car in the parking lot. And we're like, what are you guys listening to? And being all coy about it. And, they told us who they were and that they were opening. And we obviously knew the band. I'll never forget how good they were and how out of place they were. Because it was just all a bunch of like preppy people at this college campus there to hear Eddie Money do 2 Tickets to Paradise.
Right.
And like Jani just comes out in like Big Bird in leather. And it's just like, what is the big blonde hair? And the band just didn't fit at all with where they were. And they also didn't give a fuck. And it was amazing. And I think there were 4 of us there that were like, ah! And that was the start of a big, long love affair with Warrant for me.
I didn't see him until the Cherry Pie tour, and they would have been opening for Poison. And I think that would have been the Flesh and Blood tour, I believe. And I think it was the last night. It was the last night of the tour, and Warrant blew them off the fucking stage. Poison was great, but Warrant was just unfucking believable.
Where'd you see them? Where was it?
Target Center in Minneapolis. So, but yeah,
they got booted off that tour.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
And we were asked to take over, and we couldn't because we had just gotten the Scorpions tour, and we were doing a lot of the same markets. So we were like, well, they just kicked Warrant off, and they want you guys to take the spot. And we were like, well, and they had just done like New York area and stuff like that. So for us, we were like, well, we just got the Scorpions tour, and we're going to do our home tour. We're going to do the Meadowlands Arena, National Coliseum, Spectrum. I'm like,
right.
We're like, wow, that'd be great, but we just took the Scorpions tour. We don't want to diss that and not get to play, the big show in our hometown.
Right.
When we're starting to bubble.
Was that Savage Amusement?
What was that?
Was that Savage Amusement, or was it Crazy World?
That was Crazy World, yeah.
Crazy World, okay.
And but on the Flesh and Blood tour, we were asked to start in Seattle, and we reluctantly.
It must have been. See, because we saw him. It was in December. It must have been the last night of the first leg. Because they took the holiday break, and then it was after that. So it would have been the following.
Because then they went out west. Then they went out west, and then they got fired like in the Northwest, and so we were asked to start in Seattle. So we couldn't because we turned it down, and Alice in Chains actually took the gig.
Oh wow!
We wound up doing it.
Wow. We got a bunch of people in the chat room. We're going to get to them in a second. Before we start getting into the music and the records, I do want to talk about this because I think this is important. And PJ, I think you guys got wrongfully accused of this as well as being that band that brought it down. And I say wrongfully because there's a lot of people that say the look just got over the top and it became cookie cutter. They always point to Warrant. And then Trixter usually comes into the equation as well. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that.
Well, for me, I don't know. I kind of think that I don't think we were big enough to really get, it's always the W bands. It's always the Warrant Winger, Slaughter, Warrant Winger, Poison, Warrant Winger. Those both phenomenal bands always get, the shit end of the stick. We get it every once in a while, but
Yeah, but you guys were going the opposite way though, PJ. They were kind of like the outfit bands. You know what I mean? They kind of like came on stage and were in outfits.
Right.
And you guys had flannels and jeans on. Like you guys could have given a shit.
Right. Yeah, we definitely, like one of our quotes is, somebody always used to say, we kind of bridged that gap and, with the flannel thing and kind of, we dumbed it down a little bit and kind of, to use my famous quote, the 90s took our flannels and hung us with it. I said, Axl and Shannon Hoon did it first on Don't Cry. They were the first band after we had clearly set this kind of tone with the flannels. Then all of a sudden on down MTV, Axel and Shannon, who are on the rooftop, both in flannels, wearing one around their waist, and we're like,
Yep.
all right, we got something here, guys. And then all of a sudden, unfortunately, we didn't have anything.
Right.
And then
fair. Like, to be fair, you're gonna rip the people that mattered. And in fact, this isn't a knock on Trixter in any stretch of the imagination, but like I remember having this conversation with Kip Winger a long time ago, because he hasn't talked to me since. But you don't remember the bands that weren't that relevant. So it's almost as much as it sucks, and this was like a cross that I'm sure we're gonna get to later. This was the cross Jani bared his whole life.
100%.
The reason why you're the punching bag is because you were so fucking good that everybody knew who you were. And, I bet you there's a lot of bands out there that would, literally have cut off their left arm to have the problem that Warrant had at that point in time. And, I mean, does it suck that Sebastian Bach was so pretty that he was on the cover of Rolling Stone? I mean, you're going to get picked on, but you get picked on because you were great at what you did. And Warrant had it dialed in. I mean, we'll get into all of that, but
absolutely.
When people pick on Warrant, it's because Warrant's the band they remember, and they remember them because they were great at what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Let's go to Twitter here really quick. King Michael says Warrant got kicked off the Poison tour and was replaced by Don Dokken. Okay. And he was also at the same Warrant Poison show that I was at.
Was Flesh and Blood tour, though.
Flesh and Blood, yeah.
No, it wasn't
because I don't think Dokken was still in Dokken on the Flesh and Blood tour.
That's right.
Dokken solo tour I saw at the Rave in Milwaukee, and that was with Mickey D. That was that tour.
We did that tour. We went from our first tours where Stryper was our first tour. We went right from Stryper right to Don Dokken, his first solo tour from his first record. Peter Baltz, John Norum, Mickey D.
Yeah. What year was that?
That was in 90.
It was early 92, right? 90.
It was the end of 90.
End of 90. Okay.
And then we went right from the Don Dokken tour to the Poison tour that we did maybe 2 weeks with the Poison tour that kind of bridged the gap. And we went right from the Poison tour right to the Scorpion tour, and then right to the Warrant tour. But it was we started the Scorpions in February, or we started. We're gonna post right February 12th. We played with Poison, so it was around that time. And then I think we started Scorpions in end of February. So we did Dokken in November, early December of 90, and Christmas break, and then came back up with Poison and Scorpions.
All right. Okay, let's get, there's a lot of, let me read some that are relevant here. Amber says, no, it was a natural chorus, a new decade, new popular genre. Things didn't really go downhill until about 92, it seems. Yeah, but I think what we're getting at is, that it's like because they were so big that they got blamed, Tall Bear says, Quiet Riot, LA Guns, Firehouse and Slaughter, and Warrant. Rock Never Stops tour 98. Jani, the only vocalist to replace Jack Russell and make Great White sound good. We will talk about that definitely in the second half of the show.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's one. I'm listening. Where to go? Fuck it. We'll just read this one. This is a question from Scotty up in Canada. Let's play the takeoff for him. Oh, there we go. Anyone have any definitive word on guitars on the first two albums, saying Joey and Eric didn't play on the album and had to be taught the solos? Has that been confirmed or denied? I think that's pretty much common knowledge, at least for the first record.
There's a lot.
Nice. I definitely think they had some help.
Yeah,
is common knowledge. I don't know that they didn't play at all, but I definitely think there were some additional people brought in.
Hold on, let me check the Wikipedia because it's always right.
All I can tell you, as someone who manages bands now, I could tell you that, and I'm sure everybody in this call will agree, half the time on every record, somebody isn't playing something.
Right.
Just, you know
it's
what?
Always something.
The producer needs a guitar solo quickly, and the guitarist hears it and goes, that sounds pretty good. the bass player isn't there. They drop something down, and he goes, I can't do much better. It happens. I mean,
right.
Call Bob Kulick.
What? Call Bob Kulick.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Right. R.I.P.
Cheers, Bob Kulick. Well, I know.
Bad timing.
Well, I know. The famous one is Cherry Pie. DC played on Cherry Pie. The song Cherry Pie.
Well, just a solo.
Just the solo, yeah.
Yeah.
But who played the other guitars then? Was it Jani? Because I heard it was such a last minute thing that.
Cherry Pie.
I think it was Joey and Eric.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because it was such a last minute thing that they basically recorded overnight. From where
I think I heard something about CC playing something. I think as kind
yeah.
of
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he played the solo because wasn't he in the video? Was he in the video?
I don't know. I did see him do that night in Minneapolis. He played that with them, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a guest spot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I thought maybe he had a co-write on it. I don't know. Let me see.
I doubt it.
I don't know. Let's find out because there is
find out.
There is this Google machine.
Search some interweb.
Yeah, I was literally looking up Drunken because it's amazing. I was like looking up years on stuff because it's amazing how, I mean, look, that was 30 years ago. Like everything, you remember things at a certain phase in your life. And I remember seeing Drunken in college, and God, it's amazing. I've been finding that out so much, like posting a lot of stories lately where my years are off.
Yeah. No, well, Wikipedia says just Jani Lane is a songwriter. So
right.
There you go. Well, I mean, let's talk about the first record. Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich came out in, let me get under that. I should have had all this stuff lined up already. 89. Came out in 89. Heaven Goes to number 2, Down Boys to number 27. Sometimes She Cries. You've got to be fucking kidding me. All right, fine. I'll just fucking do this. I am upgrading on. You guys talk about the record. I am going to upgrade my Zoom so I don't lose this.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Nice.
Billed monthly. I'll pay the $14.99 to get through this month, and then there you go. All right, cool. Yeah. So, you guys talk about that first record while I get this taken.
While you go look for a credit card?
Yes.
I want to talk about the half stack next to the bed. I love that behind you.
What?
Your half stack.
Your half stack.
Oh, the beaters.
He's not referring to you as a half stack.
Yes, that is that is actually a very nice segue, Mr. Farley. The beater amplification, that's 2E's, beateramplification.com. Check them out. They are hand-built, hand-wired, 100 watts of testicular fortitude. Pull 2 tubes, you got yourself a 50. The Izzy Presley signature amp will be coming out very, 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 very soon. I should have mine this summer. They are now doing, they're doing rack mountable where they have all these different signature guitar player tones. And yes, they do have bass amps now. Mr. PJ Farley.
Beater bass?
Beater bass, yeah. They actually, he built one with 24-inch sub in it, I think, just because he could.
All right.
But I mean, the actual shit is so good. Check these guys out, beateramplification.com. And also our good friends over at Mackie, that's MACKIE. You want to get into home recording, hold podcasting, all that kind of stuff. Check out Mackie.com. The studio bundles are affordable and great, and a great way to get in. I'm currently running through the Big Knob Studio Plus and this amazing microphone right here. I don't know the name of it because I can't see so good, but they're fucking awesome. Check these guys out. Mackie, MACKIE. All right, so as you guys were saying about the first Warrant record.
We weren't saying anything. We were waiting for you.
Oh. No,
we were.
Read your credit card over the air.
Actually, I'm doing it via PayPal.
We're all ready to write. What the?
Oh my God! Hold on. Somebody just sent me $14.99 for the first month.
All right, that's rad.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
That's very cool.
Thank you so much. So yeah, let's talk about that first record. Talk about what you guys first thought about that first record.
Well, it's a whole complete. I mean, it's the whole thing. It's the whole package. I mean, from beginning to end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I don't want to cut you off because I'm the master of cutting off.
No. I'm just saying, like, it's songwriting 101, especially for that time and place. I mean, those songs were absolutely perfect for that time and place.
Yeah, it was literally, you couldn't write a better record than they wrote for that album. They looked fantastic. Everything gelled. They were the perfect band at that point in time. And the other thing was, it wasn't completely goofy. It wasn't serious. It was a band you could have fun with without like getting over your head with like serious content. I mean, 32 Pennies, Down Boys. It was a good time record. And the songs, I don't think to this day there's a song on that record that I couldn't sing lines to if you threw it out at me.
And the
no
sound,
one can do sing lines, but
Bo Hill doing that. I mean,
yeah,
he did something with that record to make it sound a little different than everything else. There was something more organic about that record than the other stuff that was coming out at that time.
Honestly, PJ, I think it was Jani's vocal.
No, I'm not even talking about. I'm not even there yet. I mean, Jani's vocal, obviously, but there's something in the rhythm section. It just didn't sound like anything else that came out at that time. It was just a little bit more organic on the way the drum sounded and the way the bass and the drums were mixed. It just everything had its good space. It was just a great sounding record, I thought.
Yeah, it was.
And then obviously Jani's voice it's such a strong presence. It just stands out. It's on top of the track without shutting down a mix.
Yeah.
How do you do that? I don't know, but when you can get a voice as big as his and get that to sit somewhere in a track when it's as big as it is, and you know, Lane was always mixed really kind of dry and truthful. You know, he didn't.
Yeah, there wasn't a bunch of bullshit on it. Yeah,
no, not at all. So I mean, he was sat on that track and he didn't shut it down at all. He didn't. So really kind of a mystery, but that's a testament to, you know, that band, I think, and the magic of it.
I apologize because that's not going to be the last time my dog decides he wants to give his input into the conversation. But
fair enough.
So I keep diving for the mute button, like mute, and then you can see turn around and telling him to shut the hell up. Yeah. But I think part of it too. I mean, Jani was just, and I don't think it was even something that I'm not a musician. I'm the only person on the call that's not a musician. You don't appreciate someone's genius until too much later. But Jani just had a dynamic to his vocals, and he was something special. And I don't know that there was anyone truly like him in that late 80s rock scene. And I think just the dynamic of his vocals on a lot of those songs, there was a texture to it that you just didn't hear from a lot of people.
Well, he had a very a natural delivery. Yeah. You know, he didn't sound like, I mean, he was believable. He didn't sound like he was trying too hard. He wasn't putting that, you know, but at a time where everyone was, he was a real fucking singer.
It was like he was almost underselling the song, and he was able to do it. Just
you heard natural vibrato. Yeah. You heard, you know, I mean, he let it out there. Even when sometimes when he went into his falsetto, and you know, he would just go for it. And again, mixed, usually very dry. And when you're doing things like that, and you're going for like the falsetto-y stuff, you know, you want a little help and a little Daryl Hall, you know, wash and whatnot. And he was like, fuck it, no. And it was, you know, he was definitely, but that's testament to him. And, you know, that's Jani. We all know him. And he was very competitive and very Mr. Big Nuts, you know.
Oh, 100%.
So he wasn't
100%.
He wasn't using any smoke and mirrors or anything. Mm-hmm. He wasn't giving anyone any reason to talk shit by any chance.
It was what you see is what you get with that guy. When he came out, he was fucking, it was game on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I missed half of what you guys said because I was trying to figure out this goddamn thing so we don't get kicked off. But yeah, I mean, definitely what you guys are saying. I mean, how good he was, and that was just saying there's a songwriting, especially on that first record. I mean, just look at Heaven. I mean, what the fuck, you know?
Great song.
Yeah,
exactly.
But the second record was no slouch either.
Oh, God, no. Well, neither was the third record.
Look,
we'll get to the third record.
We will.
We'll get to the third record. Because the third record is a whole nother fucking ball of wax.
Oh, yeah.
The Dog Eat Dog was great. Wasn't all Ultraphobic was another ball of wax, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right.
I even Belly to Belly as well. I mean, but we'll get to that.
Right. Well, let's do this. I mean, compare Cherry Pie to that first record. Obviously, you have the huge, monstrous success of the song Cherry Pie and the song I Saw Red and Uncle Tom's Cabin, but I think you could almost put those two records even up.
Here's the one thing that to me was so impressive. Just like I remember scratching my head when Cherry Pie came out. I remember, Warrant was riding high on the first record, and we had, I don't know, it was like around Christmas break or something. I don't even know if we were on tour, if we were just on a break. I think we were on a break. Well, yeah, we must have been on that first break after our record came out. And I'm like, I heard Cherry Pie. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? They got a new single out already? They turned that shit around so quick, and it was so smart. I mean, it was like, that was a label and a team that talk about doing it right. They wasted no time. I'm in the fucking business at this point, and I'm like, holy shit, this is Warrant's new song?
Right.
They're still riding high. I mean, they're still like on top of the game here. They could have milked that first record longer, and they came back and went Cherry Pie right through the roof.
Well, I guess I didn't realize how close they came out together.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first record, I guess I didn't even realize it was 89.
And this was 90.
Yeah, and this was 90.
90.
I remember hearing the name, seeing the video, yada, yada, yada. And then I didn't know how long it had been out. I didn't own that first record. And then I would have been a junior in high school, which would have been 1990. And I remember I was driving down St. Germain.
Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level with their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com.
If you need to promote your band or business, or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band, or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
Retro Arcade brings Minnesota and surrounding areas arcade games from the days gone by. All of those great games from pizza joints and arcades are available in cocktail units and custom machines. Dozens of favorites from your youth in one machine to complete your game room or man cave. Retro Arcade also sells and services your favorite pinball machines. Find them at facebook.com/80arcade. That's facebook.com/80arcade. Retro Arcade. Your youth is just one click away.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tom Arnold. I like fat women and cocaine. And you're listening to Izzy Presley here on another fucking podcast. And I know Izzy from Cocaine Anonymous meetings. I've actually seen him at the meetings with Ace Von Johnson from, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but Ace has got a bad coke problem. And his sponsor is Josh Todd from, and again, I shouldn't say this out loud, but Josh is his sponsor for Buck Cherry. He's addicted to upskirt porn. And they're both being sponsored by the Eagles. The whole band, the Eagles. Anyways, another fucking podcast right here with Izzy Presley, and call your sponsor. Fucking A.
Technical difficulties, but we are back. I apologize, and apparently I am Bush League. I am Bush League.
Not apparently.
Not apparently. Sorry about that.
You've taken the word apparently
goddamn
out of the
fucking
mix.
subscription. I must have put in the wrong. What if Izzy? Oh.
You know what? You took that $14.99 that guy gave you, and you fucking joined YouPorn or some shit.
No.
Right. Pornhub.
You gave the $14.99 to the girl for the next half hour. That was what the problem was.
Private room.
Private room. What can you say? All right. So, anyways, we are back, and we are going to make sure that this does not happen again. I apologize. I sincerely apologize. It was, it happens. Fucking, that's what happens when you're live. Whatever. PJ is going to strangle me next time he sees me, but that's okay.
And you know what? And my dog's going to bark soon, and we're going to get past all of this, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. So where did we leave off?
We were talking about cherry pie dropping as fast as it did.
Right. Okay.
All right, I have a question. PJ and Paul, do you guys think that Jani had probably been working on the majority of that record like immediately, or do you think that was stuff that was left over from the first record that they embellished on? Anybody know? Because I don't.
That's a good question. I'm sure I have that knowledge somewhere.
Yeah.
The bottles of tequila they fed me ago. But I don't know. I mean, Jani, obviously we know he was a very prolific writer, always writing. And
always writing.
You know, I mean, he just had it in him. He was one of those guys, you know. As far as I know, a lot of the stuff was new.
I'm pretty certain, and I wasn't. This was before my Metal Edge days, so this wasn't. And I'm the one thing not everybody, if people know, I was never like the obsessive Metal Edge. I never even read Metal Edge until I started writing for it. So I wasn't really clued in on a lot of the quote unquote like gossipy stuff and dirty stuff. I was a music fan. That was it. I started in politics, not in music writing. So I don't know a lot of the dirt from back in the day. I just know I loved the music. What I do know, I think, and I could be wrong, I thought Cherry Pie was a last-minute add to the record. I didn't even think Cherry Pie was originally, and I could be wrong, I don't know where I'd be making this up. I thought Cherry Pie was like a last-minute, the label going, we need one more song, and Jani almost embarrassingly going, all right, fuck you, I'll give you a song, and 25 minutes later coming out with Cherry Pie. So I bet you some of it was pre-existing. I also know from the time I got to know the guys and Jani in particular, because I was kind of closer with Jani than I was to everybody else. He was always playing me new music. He was always playing, hey, this is going to be my solo record. This is going to be Jabberwocky. This is going to be this. So it was like, I wouldn't be shocked if a couple of those songs were just sitting there from the first session.
Right. Or even before that. Who knows?
Or before that. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was just, the other thing is from a marketing perspective, and this would be, I don't know, like, you know, the guys might know the answer to this. The guys might not know the answer to this. I don't know. I kind of feel like Cherry Pie was just I almost look at it like Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood. It was where everything, and there was only one Warrant record before it, but it was like, Gone was the cartoony cover. Gone was the goofiness, like of that guy with the dollar bills and everything else.
Yeah.
Clean white cover, period. It was bold. It made a statement. And ultimately, it was making a statement about the band. And the statement at that point was, we're going into fucking arenas, whether you're ready for us or not. And that's what they did. I mean, I kind of feel like that was a huge grow-up leap for the band. And as much as people pick on Cherry Pie for being goofy, it's literally, you mention that era to anybody and Cherry Pie is one of the first songs they think of. So it's the signature song for a generation of music fans.
Absolutely.
And I think absolutely. That album kind of,
and strippers.
And
strippers.
That album kind of pushed them from adolescence to maturity as a band. Musically, maybe not personally. But,
right. I mean, yeah, I mean, but you know, as we're gonna get into later, it's like, you know, Jani had that moment where that was the vein of his existence. But I mean, how do you argue with it?
Well, it's gonna go down as one of the greatest songs of the '80s. So there's that.
And he always said, you saw him on the "Where Are They Now" thing, how he like, you know, that song and stuff like that. But you know what? That's because Lane knows that was a song that I'm not going to say put him on the map or, you know, because obviously they were already on the map. It catapulted them. It definitely catapulted them. But that's when so many more people took attention. And that's when you get that much attention, not all of it's going to be good. Yep. And Lane, again, going back to, we know how Lane was.
Yep.
competitive, and he was a motherfucker. He'd be like, "Fuck you, motherfucker." He would throw down in a heartbeat, and he was not one to take shit, and he would certainly throw it.
And he was also one, but PJ, he was also somebody that took shit pretty personally too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
he could, he could dish it out, but he couldn't take it.
Yeah,
But that's, that was his side. I mean, but so and just for any songwriter, whenever you put a song out there, you're like, it's like walking out nude. You're like, oh my God, you guys, it's a feeling that it's a strange feeling. And when somebody starts shit about it, yeah, it's doing great. It made him money, took the band to another level. But for him, the thing that stuck with him was the people that talked shit about it.
Yeah.
That
was what was left over. Exactly.
The competitive side was like, fuck, that's what ate at him, not the success. He didn't have that, like, if I wrote a song that was that big, and I'd be like, well, all right. Man.
Yeah, motherfucker. Achy breaky heart, motherfucker. Take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Achy breaky heart, and I'll beat it someday. I mean, that's
exactly.
Oh, and you know what? Achy breaky heart. I created Miley Cyrus. Fuck you, bitches, because I got bigger than achy breaky heart. And that's no, I get it.
Yeah, but no, he was always, and that was kind of that was how some of the demons got to him. Just I always say that about, like, even go back to, like, Kiss. I mean, everybody's got experience with all the members of Kiss, and although, Paul is a great guy and stuff, that he's always been, he takes a lot of heat, a lot of beating and and Paul's one of those guys too, where he's like, he don't like it. And he's a funny guy. He's a funny guy, but he's very protected now, and you see it and you know it when you're in his presence. Whereas Gene is,
so I don't give a fuck. Here it is.
He can take it, man. He can say what you want about that guy, but he can dish it out, and he
can take it
better than anyone.
Yep.
Paul can't take it, so
no.
Kind of stays to himself. He's a little bit more reserved. But I mean, and I don't know him that well. We toured, and I met him a number of times. I would never say I know Paul Stanley well, but I know of him and what I get from him. He has that same kind of thing. Like, he's taking his lashings, and it doesn't sit well.
I mean, similarly, not to get all political and everything, but, like, we live in a society now where nobody can take a lash. And to be fair, like, most of the crap that was dished out on a lot of these guys, and Jani, we can stick Warrant out and right at the forefront. We could put Winger right behind him. But, what some of the crap that was said and done by people borders on by today's standards is abusive. I mean, it really was.
Right.
Yeah,
and
no,
I
true.
think the culture, the culture is just such that you're dealing with artists. And I think this is one of the things that haunted Jani forever. And until the end, it stopped haunting him at that point. But you've got a situation where people just are unrelenting, and they're little pricks that live in their mother's basement and couldn't write a song if you asked them to.
Right.
They're gonna sit here and pick on cherry pie. It's like, dude, there's, like, anybody that knows what they're doing, like PJ, like you said, you'd kill to have a cherry pie. Like, give me that. I'll take a cherry pie. And
the heat that comes along with it.
And I always said this about Manson. I mean, the guy, one of his biggest gifts was he's smarter than 99.9% of his fans, and he got the joke. And, he didn't internalize it and make it about him. He made it about, I'm doing well right now. Jani didn't have that. Jani was damaged. And that damage, like what I've realized being on the other side of things now, because I'm not a journalist anymore, first and foremost, is that a lot of musicians are damaged. And
I would say tortured more than damaged.
Well, tortured,
what I mean?
If you're tortured, you are. But yeah, I mean, whatever you want to do. Part of the obligation is trying to ease that torture, repair that damage. Right. And when people around you aren't doing that, it only intensifies it even more.
Well, and and the hope is that your art does help alleviate some of that. That's that he was so good because he was, had all that shit inside him.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, you can look at, you look at all the troubled quote unquote artists. I mean, the troubled singers, the troubled songwriters, the ones that always do end up leaving us early. I mean, you look at, well, yeah, I mean, Alice in Chains, fucking Cantrell wrote all that stuff, but still, you know, you got Lane Staley. I mean, look at Hendrix. You look at Joplin. You look at, I mean, you can just go down the line. Yeah, Kurt Cobain. I mean, yeah, he's the poster child for that.
For sure.
You know, and Jani's definitely in that ilk. He's in that group.
I mean, I do think if something like happened if Jani happened today, we would have a whole dialogue going on about, and it's different because the internet wasn't really at what it is today. But if what happened to Jani happened today, we would have a whole dialogue about abusive online people and bullying and everything else. And it's just very interesting how difficult, you know, it's hard for people to deal with that.
And really, Paul, can you imagine had he been able to wait through that, like had he not succumbed to that shit?
And I'll go you one step further.
He would have been one of the greatest writers right now going. He would have been ghostwriting for everybody. He'd have been on Songland. He'd been on The Voice. He'd done all that shit.
And let's not forget, because I get a lot of shit for this, but I'll fight anybody on it. Let's not forget the impact, because it's very easy to talk about Jani. What about the impact that has on the 4 other guys in the band? Because you've now got a guy who's literally shit is so screwed up, he can't even function as a human being, and he's dragging 4 people down with him. And it's like pun intended, he's pulling them down in his undertow. And how does that affect? And again, is it
great song, by the way?
What?
Great song, by the way.
Warrant song.
But it's like
great Warrant song.
Yes.
The impact that has on everybody is profound, and I think it's the impact that has on the band, not just Jani, is profound, because they're all sitting there with a front row seat and they're participants in it. So it's
let's talk about this, Fred. Now that you just kind of put a seed in my head, going back to Warrant as a band, they were, you know, going back to that first time I saw them, I just felt like that was a band, just like Trixter. We were a band. We were 4 guys that were just like, it was not
a gang.
It was not a show. It wasn't forced. We didn't meet on, you know, in the classifieds. Wasn't like that. That was real deal shit you saw. Right. And with Warrant, that was the same thing that I immediately connected with. Maybe that's why we got along so well.
Right.
Because it wasn't like, you know, 8, 9 guys, 8 or whatever, getting together. It was like 2 bands of the same cloth coming together.
Right.
Same with Firehouse. And that's why the tour was so, you know, smooth. But
well, yeah, you guys were on probably the biggest tour that they did, right? Right, PJ? I mean, that tour was massive.
That Cherry Pie tour.
I mean, as a headliner, right?
That band, they did everything, going back to like with Trixters, like we were a gang. They were a gang, and Jani was, you saw it on stage and also off stage. Jani was their leader. Jani was, I don't mean that like dictator. I mean, on stage, he fucking commanded a crowd. He ran a show. He got every one of those guys involved in one way, shape, or form, you know, interacted. He wasn't up there like oblivious to the band behind him. He made them part of the show, part of the team, as strong as a presence as he was live and being a front man. He also made the rest of the band a part of the show and, you know, engaged and made the whole band a show. But even on top of that, he still stood out beyond that. So, you know, for the rest of the guys seeing kind of the downfall of it, it was a lot to take. You know, there's no doubt about it. You know, I mean, obviously they always knew, look, we have a marquee. We're gonna go on. We can go on. We hope it's with him. You know, obviously back in the day when they were battling with him. But they were in a fight they couldn't win. They were in a fight they couldn't win. Jani was in a fight with himself.
Jani couldn't win the fight on his own. How's the band supposed to win it?
Right, and I was there. Faster did a bunch of shows with Warrant when they were trying the second time around to try to get him after. I think it was after Jamie St. James. Yeah, they were trying to get Jani back in and back on board.
2008, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I saw how tough it was for those guys. I mean, yeah, PJ, you're right. Let's not take, you know, take it for granted that those guys struggled as well, you know.
Yeah.
Tough.
I mean, they had to sit there and, it's kind of like, when you have an alcoholic father or an alcoholic mother and a single mom or something like that. It's like, come on, man, mom,
Well, and PJ, you said the same thing. Like, he was their leader. He was their front guy. He was the guy that went out there and commanded the whole thing. And when that guy isn't there, there's something else there. It's tough.
Yeah. Well, because
I mean, I had to deal with it too.
When you know how good they are, and when how good Lane is as a live performer, when he's there and he's present,
right?
It's I mean, the rest of the guys, they could take the offstage bullshit and stuff, but when it's time to go, take us there. Let's do this the way we do it.
Right.
When they couldn't perform at that level anymore, I mean, there was a lot of frustration there and a lot of patience.
And before the Rainbow, you guys reminded me, so thank you. When we were at the Rainbow the other night and you brought up Great White, I totally forgot about that Great. When I got home from the Rainbow, I went home like, no offense, I didn't go to listen to the Axe show first. I was looking up Jani Lane Great White. But it was like, and here's the other thing. How do you think that makes the Warrant guys feel when how many times have you tried to pull this shit together and hold your band together, and now this guy goes out and sounds better than Jack Russell with Great White, and you're going,
you know what?
Well, look, hold on. This is the thing. When he was with Great White, he had Mark Kendall, who was sober, with him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He was his confidant. He was his coach. I actually saw the show in Medina, Minnesota, where it was Great White with Warrant opening up with Jani Lane singing for Great White. And we were by, and it was weird. I mean, both bands sounded great. Robert Mason's an amazing fucking singer, an amazing frontman. He fits with them very, very well. But I just remember we were over by the merch booth. Warrant came out and they did a little thing after they were done. And as soon as Great White hit the stage, boom, they were gone. I mean, they were gone. And there was a look. I remember, and I told Bobby this the first time she was on the show, Bobby Brown. Yes, Bobby Brown has been in my bedroom, goddammit. And I've been in hers. And it was Eric. I know. But Eric he had this, and this, I'm not ripping on Eric. I mean, because obviously I'm not in there. I don't know, what the feelings are. And obviously the feelings weren't good, but there was this look in Eric's eyes as they were leaving that was just like, that's bad.
I'll tell you.
I manage Drowning Pool now. I've managed them for 5 years, and you know what? They lost their singer at the height, and it wasn't the same circumstances. But you never get over that. I mean, you don't get over that, and like you battle that your whole career. So like I can't even honestly. I'm sympathetic to the Warrant guys for having to watch him with Great White because from a band perspective, I know what it's like for Drowning Pool, and they have one of the best frontmen in music right now singing for them.
That guy's awesome.
He's an amazing. Thank you. Yeah, he's an amazing singer, and Dave would be proud of him. And I know Dave is proud of him, but it's like ultimately, like the band. That's why I just think it gets terribly overstated the impact this has on other lives, And I was very, very close. Abby Steinman, Warrant's manager at the time, was one of the reasons I moved to LA. I shared an office with him. And I had a front row seat for a lot of this. And it wasn't because I was best friends with Eric or I hung out with Jerry. It was because I was best friends with Abby and I knew the shit that was going on. And I saw Jani a lot when they weren't on the road. And it was like, and I saw Jani my wife and I were trying to put the timeline together, but we went to the Rainbow one night. We went upstairs, which we rarely do. And it was, I mean, Chad, how many times I see you at the Rainbow? I don't know that we ever go upstairs, right? I happen to go upstairs and Jani is at the bar. And he's like, Paul. And I hug him. How you doing? Bro, I'm doing, and he's wasted. I'm doing great. I just got out of rehab this afternoon. And I'm like, he's wasted. And I made the comment to my wife, when we were leaving, I'm like, it's tragic because this guy, we're not gonna have him for much longer. I just got out of rehab. And the guy that picked him up at rehab told me Jani made him drive him to the Rainbow. And I'm like, I said to her, we're not going to have him for much longer. And we lost him a couple weeks later. And it's just,
wow.
You can't look at something like that and not realize it has an impact on everybody else. And it's like, I have Robert Mason has the hardest shoes in the world to step into.
Absolutely.
He's doing an amazing job in it.
Fantastic job.
In Vegas a while ago. It was fantastic. I mean, it was just, it's not easy. And
I would say
shouldn't walk away.
I would say the kid from Queen has bigger shoes to step in, but he also does an amazing job too. But look at Robert Mason. I interviewed them at, I think it was their first or second show with Robert and BJ. You guys were at, I think it was you guys, LA Guns, and Warrant. Was that you? Were you guys on that bill? And I know it was Warrant. I think for sure you guys were. Medina, Minnesota.
No, it was Myth.
At the Myth. Yeah, the Myth. Yeah, which is in Medina. No, it's not Medina. Myth is in Maplewood. But so you guys were on that bill, right?
Yeah, I think it was just us and Warren.
Was it just you two? I thought there was another one. No, you're correct. You're right, because Eddie Trunk was there, and that's the first night I met Eddie Trunk.
Yeah, it was just us.
But and
I was only like Robert's like
first or second show. Second show, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was the second show. And I interviewed him then for like this public access thing. And
I remember walking out of the dressing room and they had just started. And, I walk out into the crowd, talking to people, and I hear the band in the background. And for a minute, I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, that sounded so good. Like, it didn't even dawn on me.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, wow. I mean, Turner told me how good he was. And I knew, obviously I knew Robert for a while and knew
the
singer is, but I had never heard him sing those songs before. And I didn't turn around. Like, that's not even Jani, is it? Look at that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, I think, back to Jani with Great White, I mean, that just shows you how good he really was. Because, I played like Chad and Paul. I played you guys that was it Save All Your Love? And it gives me fucking chills.
No, it's unbelievable how good it is.
Unbelievable how good it is. And that just shows you how good Jani was.
Okay, so talking about how good Jani was, let's talk about Doggy Dog.
Yes.
Of all the bands, all the 80s bands, they segged into what was to become much better than any other band. I think we would all agree on that, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That record is epic.
While I give the record label, and again, maybe at some point I'll have a conversation with Eric and he'll be like, it wasn't the record label, and he'll tell me a story about Cherry Pie that I don't know. But as much as I say right now, from my perspective, it looks like the label did an epic job of taking Cherry Pie and elevating the band.
Right.
At the same thing, the label dropped the ball tremendously at that point because, look, labels 9 times out of 10 have their heads up their ass, and they were chasing grunge. And this was Warrant were the one band that actually could have really moved into that whole thing and done it successfully, and they never got the shot. And that was.
But they did put out a record that was a transition record that had properly been promoted.
That's what I'm saying. They weren't properly promoted.
Again, going back to the term "a fight we can't win."
Right.
My second record, Trixter, released here.
Yep.
Roughly around the same time, and I remember. I don't know why this conversation sticks out, but I was on the road. Warrant was on the road. We were on tour with Kiss. Warrant was on the road with Lynch Mob opening up, oddly enough. And me and Eric were on the phone together on a day off. And, Warrant's record just dropped. I'm like, man, this fucking record's great. He's like, yeah, it's, Basically, we were having the same conversation. I'm like, yep. Didn't get many ads today. And,
right.
It's like, I'm like, man, but you released the Bitter Pill. Man, that's a fucking
thing. Oh.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, I hope. I'm like, I know, I hear you. And we're just sitting there like, we were both kind of like, I thought we had a great record. They had a great record.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It could have been Song Remains the Same, man. And it was,
look, and there's songs on that fucking record that are as heavy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
Hole in
it
My
is,
Wall is
oh,
heavy.
fuck yeah. Machine Gun?
And that was the first single. And,
Yeah.
I mean, ironically, and then Stone Temple Pilots comes out with.
Yep.
And you're absolutely right, though. Whoever said earlier, I mean, I feel like had we not lost Jani, he would be a guy today that would have been able to make a transition that is kind of unfathomable because nobody was really able to do it. I mean,
right.
I feel like he had that ability because when the scene shifted, he was like, okay, I can do grunge while still being Warrant. You know, I'm not out there. I'm not trying to.
That's the thing. They still sounded like Warrant, Paul.
They still sounded like Warrant. It sounded like Warrant and Soundgarden instead of just Warrant. And you're going.
Let's touch on Ultraphobic then.
What?
100%.
Yeah, please do.
Ultraphobic had, I would say it wasn't grunge. It was more, let's say, King's XE kind of meets Warrant.
Yeah. King's XE is a perfect description of that.
Meets
all
Warrant.
the kind of weird time signatures and all that other shit.
Great blend. The record sounded great. I mean, and then it has a song like, Stronger Now on it.
Which is maybe one of his greatest songs ever.
Hands down. But I mean, great record, great sounding record.
Undertow, fucking Crawl Space.
Community was great. I mean, tons of great stuff on that record.
Mm-hmm.
And, but again, kind of on the downward slope of the wave.
Was that was it? But that was the first CMC record, right, Paul?
I believe it was, yes. Well, let me look it up. Hold on.
Paul, let me ask you this: being involved with Metal Edge at that time, I mean, were you able to?
Was I involved with Metal Edge at that time?
Were you?
I'm trying. What year was that? I didn't start in Metal Edge until.
That was like 95.
Yeah, I wasn't at Metal Edge yet.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No, I graduated. I started in Metal Edge like 96. 96 was when I started at Metal Edge.
Okay, well, that answers my question because for some reason I thought you were there earlier.
Here's the other thing. Warrant, and this is crazy because the first assignment Jerry gave me was to cover the Kiss reunion show at Tiger Stadium. So that was my first assignment. But Warrant, I actually beat her up on the fact that Warrant were playing at the rave, which I lived right next door to. And I'm like, I love Warrant. I love Vince Neil. Let me go do something. And it was literally one of the most uncomfortable nights of my life because Jerry wanted something, but she wanted me to do a typical Metal Edge feature. And I wasn't Jerry and I didn't read Metal Edge. And I wasn't comfortable going, let me get a picture of you and Bobby. Let me get you everybody, because she wanted pictures of the guys with the girls that were on the road.
Bass players get together, the two bass players.
Yeah, I get it. And I'm just like, that's not me. I mean, to this day, I'm better at it now, but it's like, I wasn't like, it was so uncomfortable for me trying to do that. And I had some sort of relationships at that point with the guys, but it wasn't, I just found pictures from it the other day and it was like, it was weird, but that was my first thing. And she didn't really want an interview. She wanted a live and backstage with Warrant because Jerry never wanted me to talk to her bands. So that was the other problem I had. Like she was very protective of her bands and Warrant was her band. And I was allowed to do Wasp because she didn't talk to Wasp anymore. But I wasn't allowed to talk to Aerosmith. I wasn't allowed to talk to these people. So I got this like rap as being like the new metal guy and the Manson guy. But that was because those were the only bands Jerry allowed me to talk to.
Gotcha.
So it was like, okay, here we go. then all of a sudden, so I'm trying to remember because when I took over the magazine, I made it a point to put Warrant on the cover of the first issue. And it was a Rob Zombie cover. It was Rob Zombie was the main cover, Warrant were the upper right inset, and I can't remember what year that was because Rika's the one that knows all those dates better than me, but it was probably 99 if I had to guess. That would be my. So I don't
ever need to remember a date? Always ask the gal. The gal remembers all of that shit.
You can also tell me what girl I was on the editor's page with at that point too.
Sorry, dude.
Oh, that's fucking gold.
I'm like, As if Metal Sludge didn't make my life hard enough. I had to have feel. Who knew my future wife was like taking notes?
Oh, that's fucking.
Dell doesn't forget anything.
I'm gonna hit the chat room really quick. Jennifer Puro says Metal Edge is my favorite magazine. From the pics to the stories, etc. Was never a fan of Circus. All right, or Rip loved Metal Edge. All right,
thank you.
Joe Regan says Family Picnic.
Oh, that's a great song too.
Yep.
Yeah.
April 2031.
Oh God,
Fucking kidding me,
dude! Inside Out.
Yeah.
Fucking Inside Out. Lee McClinton says that album is so good. Hole in My Wall just kills. Bitter Pill.
You know Lee.
I know Lee too.
Yeah, and Kevin says Dog Eat Dog is the best Warrant Jani CD. Hard, still power ballad in Bitter Pill.
Bridges are burning.
Bridges are burning. Oh God.
Yeah.
Kevin also says I like Robert. Nothing against him. He has been the best fit since. But 2 CDs, Robert, I just wish was under another band name and not Warrant. But you can't do that with.
Yeah, it's not fair to the look. I get it.
No,
It's not fair to the guys.
It's not fair to the guys.
And it's not fair to the history, you know.
And it's not the guy's fault that what happened with Jani happened with Jani. So,
Right.
I mean, I get it. I totally understand. Like I said, I was always closer to Jani than I was anyone else in the band.
Right.
However, man, it's just not fair. I mean,
Right.
you know, it's not fair to say they should have stopped. And I don't think it's fair to just project like you can't get mad at them because they didn't do things the way somebody you might have preferred that they do them because
Should
you don't know what they're going through.
change their name at Back in Black?
What?
Should ACD?
Yeah, no, totally.
Right.
Back in Black, you know.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I do think Motley, if they would have changed their name, it would have had a better.
I disagree with you 100%. I don't think that
just for the Karabi record. You don't think so?
I don't think it was ever going to work. I mean, it's a great record. I love it.
Right.
It sounds amazing. John did a fantastic job. I don't think that the fan base was going to get behind it at all, no matter what.
Nope.
Anybody else want to chime in on this?
Yeah, no, it's spot on.
I agree.
I love that record. Ironically, Turner was the first one to turn me on to John Corabi, and like, it's funny because I was just staying at his house for a little bit, and or out in LA or something. We're driving around, we're going like Carl's Jr. or something, and he starts cranking up this band. I'm like, who the fuck is this? This is awesome. He's like, that's new Motley Crue. I'm like, what? And this was around the transition time, but they didn't announce the new singer yet.
Right.
Like, what? He's like, well, he goes, it's John Corabi. It's The Scream. I'm like, this is badass.
Yeah.
This guy's singing for Motley Crue. I'm like, that's gonna be fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, that record came out, and it was fucking awesome.
And it was fucking
There are songs on that though where I could hear Vince singing them. I could hear Vince doing Hooligan's Holiday. You know.
100%.
Yeah. Absolutely. Look, we got about 5 minutes left, and let's do this. I want to hear stories from the Faster Trixter tour.
The I don't the Peru tour?
Yes, the Peru tour.
Oh, I don't think PJ and I are willing to talk about the Peru tour.
Okay.
It was okay. You know what? I'm gonna say this, and PJ can chime in. It was every bit as fun as it sounds like it was. PJ?
Imagine that.
We had a fucking blast.
And
thank you, Peru. You guys were fucking amazing.
I remember, I think we went on at like 1:15 in the morning.
Yeah, dude, it was late.
I got on a plane at 6 in the morning, flew to JFK, got off the plane, and did a fucking gig. So I played North and South. I played North and South America the same fucking day. Hungover.
Trooper.
Wow.
God damn.
Rock soldier, baby.
That was stupid.
Fucking A. All right, let's do this. Let everybody pimp what they got coming up. So, because PJ, you have a record coming out?
Yeah, I just finished my new record, and it's coming out on a new label, High Vol Music, and I think it should be coming out. I'm going to say end of August, beginning September. But yeah, it's done. I'm very proud of it, and so you know, it's what I play music.
Solo record? Is it solo record?
Solo record, yeah.
Oh wow, badass.
Yep.
Badass.
And I have a new Raw record coming out. I probably won't be out till January, but probably going to drop a new single in October.
Mm-hmm.
And a new Kuarentine video coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, PJ, I forgot to tell you. I've known Kent Slucher for years. That guy, he's my boy. That guy is awesome.
We were texting, and he had said, he mentioned he was talking to him. What a great guy, man.
He's a great guy.
He's on my new record.
Fantastic drummer. Fantastic drummer.
Nice. Chad, any new Faster Pussycat news?
Paul? We're 6 songs deep, with 6 more coming. We're working on it. In the meantime, I'm doing Devil's Crown Bloody Mary mix.
Nice.
Available on Shopify. And
I gotta try some of that.
Huh?
I gotta try some of that.
What is that? Tell me
Have
about
you not had it yet?
No.
Oh, it's great.
It's a rainbow.
I heard Crown.
At listening party on Thursday.
I heard Crown. What is this?
Devil's Crown. It's my Bloody Mary mix. I have a
badass.
signature Bloody Mary mix. It's pretty killer.
Interesting.
I'll send you a bottle.
Awesome. Paul, you got anything to pimp?
I'm managed now. That's what I do. I've got, I own Metal Edge with a partner. We are going to do something with it eventually. I just pulled the Instagram account. I started an Instagram account, so I'm on there. So, I'm on socials. My big thing is management. I manage Drowning Pool. We got a big announcement coming in the next 2 weeks. I manage Hurricane. We actually got new music. We're going in the studio this week. I have a girl called Dendel who's fantastic. And I have Jason Charles Miller from the band Godhead. So I'm busy. Good. Yeah. So
Badass.
all mine.
Going back
and maybe someday I'll be able to, I don't know which square he's in, but we keep talking about Faster Pussycat. I'm like,
New Motochrist record is out. Right?
Live record is coming out. We also have a bonus CD in the live record. It's a live vinyl, but we have a bonus CD of all international bands covering Motochrist songs.
I fucking
We've
love
bands
it.
from Australia, Iceland, Argentina. It's really pretty great.
Ah, beautiful. All right, so hold on. We're going to say goodbye off there. I'm going to stop recording this right now so we don't, so I don't have to say goodbye to you guys